21st, 2022, approximately 6:29. Calling the meeting to order with a pledge of allegiance to the flag. Will we all stand? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Secretary Jeff Minchuk, take the roll call.
1 second, ma'am. All right, Mr. Mellon,
Absent.
Mr. Rich.
Here.
Mr. Holtz, not yet. Mr. Pettit is not here. I am here. Mr. Deering. Here. And Madam President.
I am here.
We
Thank
currently
you.
have 4.
We have a quorum so far. All righty, let's continue on with the agenda.
Madam President, just for the record, I see Mr. Pettit walking in.
Mr. Who?
Mr. Pettit is walking in.
Mr. Pettit is walking in. I thought he was sick.
Nothing can keep me down, Mark.
I know that. My good, you're not going to spread anything around, are you?
When I kiss Joe.
Oh, no.
Or rumors. I was thinking about rumors.
Start rumors.
Thank you
Okay.
for the card, Margie.
Oh, you are quite welcome. I am so sorry I was in Iowa. Thought I'd make it
You were in
back.
Iowa.
In Dubuque. Yeah. Well, we'll talk later. We're in the middle of the meeting. The minutes of May 17th, 2022. Has everybody looked them over? If so, could I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of May 17th, 2022. Continuing on, do we have any communication?
We have to vote on the,
We have
just
to-
a voice vote.
We have to voice vote on the,
Okay, voice vote on the minutes. Yes or no or aye? Aye.
Aye?
aye.
Aye. Okay, we have a voice vote. It looks like everybody approves. Okay, any communications from the board or from any of us? Communications, Brian?
We do have some communications, but it has to do with the, with one of the items on the agenda, Madam Chairman. So if we could go over those when it comes time for that.
Okay, you want me to wait for the agenda? That's
Yes.
fine. Okay, old business. Any old business, board members? No old business. Continuing on with the new business. Item 1, P7 PS1-0622. Inspired Development Group petitioner and owner. Located approximately at 77th Avenue west of Foxmore, preliminary subdivision approval for Royal Estates on 12.04 acres in a R2 single-family residential zoning district. Purpose, single-family residence. Hello.
Good afternoon. Jack Halls from DVG and Drew from Inspired Development are here.
Let the record show Rick has shown. Okay, I'm sorry,
No
continue.
problem. This is a 34 lot, single-family subdivision in your R2 district. All the plans match the R2 zoning. We are not seeking any variances to that. And so it's an extension of a previously approved subdivision that was not all the way platted, known as Foxmore. And this area was purchased by Drew as a separate developer, and he is developing it largely consistent with that original plan. There was land further to the west in the town of Schererville that is no longer included. The town of Schererville has purchased that property and intends to use it as a park. So the road connections into that area have been removed. And so on the north end, let's say we have a cul-de-sac instead of a road stub that went to the west. We have 3 road connections at 77th Place. That road stub ends east of our property line. The grading work over that ditch crossing is done. That ditch crossing is actually in. we intend to install all the way to the existing road. Similar, 78th Avenue is east of our property line. That road is basically there, other than the pavement. We're intending to finish that off. And then to the south, we're providing a stub into our joiner to the south, as was directed by the town. There is also a ditch crossing installed at that location just south of our property line. We've been through, we were here for tentative work study. We've had meetings with town staff regarding the engineering. I believe we're addressed all of those comments. John Dykstra had some review comments, but we took care of those. And we're ready to have your consideration on this matter this evening.
Very good. I know we went over the whole project and your development plan at the workshop. Do we have a staff report, Sheila?
Yes.
Okay.
Petitioner is seeking preliminary subdivision approval for Royal Estates on 12.04 acres. The subdivision will be served with curb and gutter streets, sanitary sewer, storm sewer, street lights, and common water. Surface water from the lot will be conveyed to existing detention pond in Foxmore. Petitioner would like to build 34 single-family resident. Petitioner has met with Stormwater Director Matt Lake, Steve King, Maryville Engineer Supervisor, and John Dykstra and Bob Zaney from Robinson Engineering regarding the road connection to August Manor, development as a whole. Petitioner will adhere to landscaping ordinance and all other town codes and ordinances.
Okay, I think we talked about the entrances before, too. Do we have another entrance coming out
No,
and going in?
I think that was the southern development, Madam Chair.
Oh, that was the
Yeah,
southern.
because there's 3 connections already.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Madam Chair?
we did
Yes.
just,
Can I ask a question right
Sure.
out the get-go? Sheila read in here that the surface water from the lot will be conveyed to existing detention ponds in Foxmore. Mm-hmm. Foxmore's in Sherrville. Steve
No.
and Sheila, I'm assuming that Matt talked to the town of Sherrville?
No, Foxmore is in
Foxmore's in the town of
the
Maryville.
town.
This
Oh,
is-
this portion of Foxmore?
Yes.
Yeah, this
Okay.
is part of Maryville.
Right,
Okay.
So if you're looking at the plat,
which I am.
this area right up in here,
Top right-hand corner.
Yeah, that one,
that is
okay.
where the detention pond, Basin 3 in that
Okay.
Foxmore set of plans is.
Foxmore Unit 1A and 2A, reading is fundamental.
That's okay.
You're
Yeah.
under the weather, it's
Well, it was a
okay.
good,
I had COVID.
it was a good question, though.
That's Foxwood.
It was a good question for
But
Cheryl.
that was the exact same question.
Hey,
that-
I represent Sherrville.
Right.
That was a similar question that Mr. Dykstra brought up, and so I had to prepare a stormwater technical report regarding that matter, so,
All right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
no problem.
I think that's why we brought up the entrances over all of this, right? With that Foxmore behind them, west of them.
I'm not sure. Was it Foxmore or was it for Mr. Turinga's development to the south of this that we were concerned with the amount of entrances and exits?
Well, it could have been both
Well, it
of
was a-
them.
Well, they're
Mr.
gonna tie
Turinga.
in.
Mr. Turinga's development was one in, one out.
Right.
I think this
Right.
development opens up a number of different
Yeah.
entrances.
Open, right, that's
Ingresses
what
and
we talked
egresses.
about.
So,
Yeah.
Well, let's see, what does the board have any questions or comments? Luke, Rich?
Yeah, what size and types of homes are these gonna be? Are they ranch style, 2-story?
These are going to be 2-story homes, ranging anywhere from 2,400 square feet to just under 3,000, like 2,800 square feet, 2-story homes.
And what are we looking at price point on?
We're, right now, obviously with the demographic of what's going on in the market right now, it's all over the board, but we're probably ballparking these between 400 and just a little bit below there. We were getting substantially more over that in some other towns and areas, but we're gonna kind of relook at some of the things that we're gonna do, but we're gonna probably try to keep that thing between about $400,000.
Mr. Holtz, questions, comments?
No, I like the project and looks good.
Very good. Mr. Derry?
How's our DNR approvals coming?
DNR approvals have been submitted. Those will be, it's a quite lengthy
I
process.
understand, yeah.
So we've discussed this with John, or actually the town staff. So there is actually an existing floodway that's mapped on this. So once the plating is completed prior to that DNR work being finalized, we can do the grading that lies outside of that, which includes the majority of Clark Street. There's 77th and 78th roads can be put in. If there's any homes, and I think I counted there was 5 of these 34 lots that would lie within that currently mapped area, those would not be permitted to be built on until that DNR work was completed, which we anticipate probably by the end of the year. Like I said, that's a lengthy process, but it shouldn't hold us up at this point.
Okay, and pretty much once we get the approval process done, you're ready to put shovels in the ground.
Yeah, that's I mean, we've got it out for bid currently, so I'm just collecting those at the point in time, and then at that point, it's just kind of releasing them to kind of fulfill that without staying away from the flood areas as well.
Fantastic. All right, that's all I've got.
Mr. Minchuk? Mr. Pettit?
Nope.
Nothing?
Nope.
Okay, well, what about the parking? Weren't we talking about the parking before?
Oh, I think we did talk a little bit about the
Yeah.
parking. So these are our 2 single-family homes. So that means there's an 80-foot lot, 80-foot minimum lot width. That's generally what all of these lots are. With a 20-foot driveway, 22-foot driveway, that leaves you with between 55 and 60 feet along the front of your house. So
Right.
there would be a parking space or 2 on street. In addition, there would be 2 to 4 parking spaces on the driveway. 2 spaces would not be blocking the sidewalk. Additional 2 would block that sidewalk in the apron. Besides the fact, these are going to be 2 or 3 car garages, so there's going to be what we feel to be adequate parking here. Also noted, there are some areas, such as in front of Outlot A, which is right on 78th Avenue there, and then on the cul-de-sac, where there is additional space on street that is not in front of a lot, of somebody's personal lot, that there could be additional on-street parking, so.
Very good, so we have sufficient parking. What about the lighting?
Lighting would be consistent with your town ordinances. We are showing them at the intersections, at the crossings, and at the north end in the cul-de-sac.
Question then, Madam President.
Yes.
Jack, as a part of the covenants, are they all houses gonna have post lights?
Currently, we don't. Certainly something to consider, but.
I would consider, Madam President, that's your ward. I mean, I think if you
Yes.
get 34 post lights along with the normal street lights, you're gonna illuminate that neighborhood. Might be a good idea.
Well, I just took it for granted the yard lights were coming in, but I think you should have them. It is my ward. And I think the development is great. You are talking about yard lights, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little slider.
Sure.
Is that desired generally? Because I know some communities prefer actually not to see that.
I think what the chairman's telling you is, it's preferred.
It's
It's
preferred.
preferable.
And that's fine, we can do that.
Yeah, I have them in my
And
subdivision.
just to be clear, that's not in lieu of the traditional, street lighting that we would see, the mast posts and that kind of thing. Because that, generally, when we see post lights on each lot, then
Yeah.
we're talking about omitting those, and you're not suggesting that.
Now, Steve, we require spun aluminum, right?
Yeah, that's our standard.
That's our standard?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So these
Brian,
would
did you
be,
have a question?
Yeah, just one more quick question, because I don't think we've ever touched on it. The yard maintenance, is this all owner-occupied yard maintenance?
Yes.
Each person will be responsible for
Yes.
maintaining and landscaping his own property?
Yes,
And that will be written into the covenants.
yes.
Okay.
Fantastic.
All right. Steve, what do you have to report on it? Anything?
I'm all good. We've met with DVG, several times.
The preliminary plat is fine. There was a couple minor engineering comments going back and forth that no problem getting them ironed out. It's a great development. You know, Jack and DVG have been a pleasure to work with on this project, so let's get moving.
Madam Chairman, I make a motion, we approve PS 1-0622.
Motion on the floor from Mr. Pieta to approve P7PS-1-0622. Could I have a second?
Hold on 1 second. We have to make it with the condition that we put in
The yard lights?
Oh, wait, Mr. Setnoff, this is preliminary subdivision. Is this a public hearing, Sheila?
Yes, it is.
This is an advertised public hearing. I'm sorry, I withdraw my motion for the time being.
Withdraw the
Okay.
motion. We're gonna go ahead and at this point conduct a public hearing. So any and all people that are for or
Since you
against.
spent the money on the certified check, we might as well see if anybody's,
Well, we can follow Indiana law too, though.
well, that's.
So, so at this time, we invite anybody for or against this petition, step up to the microphone and speak.
Are there
Again,
any remonstrators?
we'll invite anybody to come up and speak for or against this petition. 1/3 time, anybody for or against this petition. Seeing none, public hearing closed. Now,
Madam President, motion to approve P7PS 1-0622.
Motion on the floor from Mr. Pieta to approve P7PS-1-0622.
can we have a modification on that motion?
The modification about the yard lights?
Yes.
And would you
My
like?
motion's modified.
Okay. Is that all right, attorney?
That's great.
Okay, and
Second.
Brian?
No, that was Mr.
Oh,
Holtz.
Mr. Holtz gave a second. So we have a motion and a second on the floor to approve P7PS-1-0622. Okay, now we could take a roll call vote, please, Mr. Secretary.
Mr. Rich,
Yes.
Mr. Holtz,
Yes.
Mr. Pettit,
Yes.
I'm a yes. Mr. Deering,
Yes.
Madam President,
Yes.
6 yeses.
Thank you very much
Thank
for
you,
your
guys.
time.
Been
Appreciate
approved.
that.
Thank you.
Thank you for attending. Okay, item 2. That's P81S2-0622, urologic specialist of Northwest Indiana petitioner, urologic specialist medical building LLC owner, located at 400 West 84th Drive, request final subdivision approval of Davis Lot D-2 re-subdivision in a C3 Highway Commercial Zoning District. Purpose, a medical building addition.
Good
Okay,
evening.
Give us your plan.
My name is
Introduce yourself.
Ryan Maravich of DVG Team, 1155 Troutline Road, Crown Point.
Okay,
We are asking for approval tonight of final plat approval for the combination of Davis Lot D2 with the approximately north 170 feet of the adjacent Lot West in order to accommodate a building and parking addition. I believe that correspondence was given earlier today from Leanne Shea, who is the COO, about ownership of the pond.
Yes, and we've reviewed that and it's satisfactory.
Okay, great. So with that, I would welcome any questions you may have.
sure. Are there any questions or comments from the board? No. Well, at this time, Sheila, do you have a staff report?
Yes. Petitioner is seeking final re-subdivision of Davis Addition Lot D2 on 2.107 acres in the C3 Highway Commercial Zoning District to build a medical building addition. The subdivision will be served with curb and gutter streets, sanitary sewer, paved streets, and paved street with shoulder and water, and common water. Surface water from the lot will use existing subdivision drainage swell system. Developers have met with Matt Lake, Stormwater Director, Steve King, Maryville Engineering Supervisor, on the proposed project. The approved existing drainage is working. Stormwater Director Matt Lake would like pond to be cleaned. This will be a condition upon the approval of the project before permits are issued. Petitioner will adhere to all town codes and town ordinance. Urological specialists and their representatives will forward all information regarding Commerce Park Pond to Matt Lake, Stormwater Director, and the town of Maryville.
Mr. Rich, any questions?
No.
Mr. Holtz?
So this is saying that the pond will be cleaned out first, not just his little swell?
No, the pond. Matt had asked them to do that before they get a permit, to have it clean. Yes.
That's what I was hearing. I know in the past, we were just talking about them only cleaning that swell area, so, okay.
Brian?
Okay, and so just to be sure, what Rich is saying, we're going to clean the pond and the swale out?
My understanding, since we don't own the pond, that it would be, the town would direct the current owners to maintain it.
I thought that that's what we've gone around and round about all this time. And again, before we go any further, I want to thank your team for coming up with this information for us. It is most helpful. So I think that at this point, we would have to direct Matt to get a hold of the current owners and have them clean it out.
Well,
Okay,
here's the
let me
question,
think
though.
let me find out exactly, what, Mr. Lake had told me. I picked up pond when I talked to him, and I'm sorry, when I talked to Matt, and I could be wrong, I will find out exactly what he said that needed to be done. But I picked up pond, but I will get that correction.
Well, because I think that was the whole point of getting to the meat of this issue of finding out who actually owns the land, was that down the road, because they were responsible for cleaning the swale. That's what we heard
Oh, okay.
all along now. Now, if Matt wants that
No,
pond cleared
no,
too.
let me
But
be
here's the
clear.
deal, at the end of the day.
Yep.
We are not here about cleaning out
Right.
ponds tonight.
Well,
We are here,
wait a second, Joe, though. The way this is written, and if this is what Matt said,
I have to make sure though, Sean.
he wants the pond cleaned before a permit's issued. We can't hold up Ryan and urological specialist.
Right, right.
Because the other owner that we got hasn't done the work. And she
Right.
wants to wait and do the work in September, and these guys wanna break ground in August. We can't hold their feet to the fire because of the pond. If we've gotta do the work,
Right.
yeah, Matt and Joe Fish and the contractor have gotta get out there on the town's dime and clean that pond ASAP so he can get a permit. We're not gonna hold up a
Right,
building permit
exactly.
because we didn't do our job on the pond.
So-
Because at that point, then they have to send this current owner
Yep.
the bill, and going back to what was originally said last year, in the last year, if
You're fine.
they have an agreement that everybody from the banks all the way over to the new diagnostic center on the north side of the road, if they are all responsible for chipping in to the maintenance of that off-site pond, then Matt has to get a hold of the owner and say, you gotta send your people the bill. And that is the responsibility of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 properties that are currently developed along that road.
So, Madam President,
Yes.
may I please have the opportunity to get in contact with Stormwater Director Matt Lake?
Sure.
So that he can clear this up, and I
Yeah.
will put an email, he will put an email out tomorrow.
Well, we
Okay.
could
He's
have
on
Matt Lake
vacation.
clear it up, but in the meantime, we don't want to hold up the development
Yes,
if we don't
thank
have
you.
to.
Well, yeah,
so we're gonna have a contingency, somebody's cleaning the pond.
On the pond only.
and it's
correct?
not on their nickel 100%.
We don't know what the agreement is between the retention pond owner and all of the other landowners there. That is a private contract.
Right,
Sure.
So again, we're getting into the weeds.
right.
in
But
this
then if
retention pond.
if they don't choose
Craig
to
Knighty?
go along with it,
Potentially.
then Mr. Lake can go in there, clean it up, and send the current
Miss-
property owner of
Mi-
record.
Mr. Lake, if he
the
does his
bill.
due diligence, he does his notifications and everything else, he's handled this before. He'll be able to.
Yeah,
get to
Mr.
the
Lake,
bottom.
I'm sure he knows what he's
It'll-
doing,
it'll-
but in the meantime,
it'll be
we
fine.
don't want to hold this project up. Is that
It'll be
right,
fine.
board members?
Yep.
Very good.
We want to keep development moving.
We want to keep our development
Developer-friendly.
moving in Maryville, and I'm sure the pond will be cleaned eventually.
It'll be a golden pond.
Oh, yes, that sounds real good. Golden lot.
Oh, you're killing me, Smalls.
Okay. Mr. Pettit, do you have any more to say?
Nope, I've said enough.
Okay, Mr. Minchuk?
Come in.
No? How about our engineer? Is there anything else, Steve, that you have to report?
No, we're fine. The stormwater permit's been issued. We've given them, engineering approval letter. We've gone over this, I don't know how many times. Yeah, they're good to go.
Oh, that's very good. What about the Conservancy? Is there anything with the Conservancy? Did you?
Well, we're using existing services, and there was no issue with that.
Oh, so that's all being approved by the Conservancy District? Okay, very good. All right, so in the meantime, maybe I could have a motion to approve P81S2-0622.
So moved.
Could I have a second, please?
Second.
With the contingency that we solve the issue of the clean out of the pond, we get a final pronouncement from Mr. Lake on what's going to happen, that this project will not be held up because of the cleaning out of that said.
Very good, Brian. Okay, we have a motion and a second on the floor for PAFS2-0622. Okay, could we have a roll call vote?
Mr. Rich,
Yes.
Mr. Holtz,
Yes.
Mr. Pettit,
Yes.
I'm a yes, Mr. Deering,
Yes.
and Madam President.
Yes,
We have 6 yeses.
motion is approved. Thank you all.
Thank you.
And thank you for attending.
Thank you.
Good luck. Okay, continuing on with item 3, P9PS2-0622. Hashu, I think I'm saying it right. I believe you corrected me last time, or I asked you. Is it Hashu or Haku?
Hachu.
Hashu. Okay, Hashu NWI LLC petitioner and owner, located at 8410 Indiana Street, request preliminary, this is a 2-lot subdivision approval for True Hotel on 3.72 acres in a C3 highway commercial zoning district. The purpose, it's a hotel construction. And I think we talked about it at our workshop, so if you want to bring us up to par again, that would be fine.
Yep, thank you. My name is Amit Shah. I'm representing Hachu NWI as a petitioner and owner.
And this is part of the Hilton, right? The Hilton
Correct, the
Hotel.
True
Okay.
is part of the Hilton brand. Looking for preliminary approval on subdivision of our lot to develop a hotel. Spoke with Tarenga today, and he's been in communication with Bob Zaney, and I believe all the comments have been responded to. So there shouldn't be anything lingering for approval, to my knowledge. So,
Questions? Oh, Sheila, staff report?
Petitioner is requesting preliminary 2-lot subdivision approval on 3.72 acres in the C3 Highway Commercial Zoning District. Petitioner would like to build a Hilton True Hotel on 1.4 acres. The Home 2 Hotel will be on the other 1 lot, and the True Hotel will be on the other lot. The development will have curb, gutter streets, common water, sanitary sewers, and storm sewers. Overland flow into storm sewers, into detention pond, onto existing storm sewers. Petitioner will adhere to all town codes and ordinances.
Okay, questions and comments from the board? Luke?
Nothing at this time.
Rick?
No, we're just subdividing the lot.
Right. Brian?
Just for a moment of clarity, once we approve the 2-lot, since there's already a building on half of this lot, we've essentially created 2 new lots, and one is already developed, one will be developed. Do we then go any farther with this, or can they just pull a building permit?
They can just pull a building permit.
what
A
I thought.
hotel is a permitted use in a C3.
Great. Okay, then,
That answers your question?
yeah, that sounds great and, ready to go.
Sean?
Yeah, I've seen their development. I've been to Hilton at Home. You guys did an outstanding job on that. Cannot stress enough, the newer hotels that I've had over there, we refer to that as Westlake, and I cut through the neighborhood, all the time. I don't see a problem with this whatsoever, Madam Chairman.
Good.
I've talked with you a couple times on the phone,
Well,
Mr.
Sean, you
Minchuk?
want to make sure it's union.
Nothing? Steve?
I would prefer it be union, but if they're not asking.
What's that,
for
Joe?
it-
That's me. How you doing tonight?
Good, how are
Good to
you?
See you again.
Okay, wait a minute. It's not going to be union, is what you're saying?
Union building?
We prefer it to be union.
We prefer it to be union, correct? Is it union?
Yeah, we'll have some union there and, we'll figure it
Yes,
out.
Because Maryville is a union town, and I think we even have an ordinance on that. we-
Actually,
Well,
we have an agreement, we have a PLA agreement
Yeah.
with the trades, so. you
With
can
the
sit down
trades.
With the trades and make sure that the
Well, he
course is
can,
proper and/or wages.
we encourage that.
Yeah.
We're not giving any tax abatement to it. I told him on the phone several times, we've had this discussion, I'm not gonna tax abate a hotel.
Yeah.
Now, if we give an economic incentive, Jeff's right, absolutely, that's the letter of the ordinance, the law. You have to do a PLA
Yeah.
or hire union contractor. Since we're not giving economic incentives, he doesn't have to, but I would really hate to see a rat on Mississippi as I'm driving home one night.
I
mean,
don't
you know what
want
I-
to see the rat
Are
patrol.
we on the same?
Yeah, no, we
No,
did.
no, actually, they put 15 out in front of the carpenters union one time.
I mean, we built two hotels there. We were union and non-union on some of the trades, but, majority of them were union.
Well, you're doing your project in Munster right now, and you're going union, correct?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
All right.
So if it's good enough for Munster, it's good enough for Maryville,
Of course.
Well, I'm going to take your word that you prefer union too, correct?
We will try to go union, yeah.
Well,
Majority of it.
just don't try, do it. Okay. Okay, any more questions and, nope? Steve?
Here's what we'd like to do. I think open this up for
Yeah.
public hearing.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot.
So, at this time, anyone speaking for or against the petition, please step up to the microphone as a remonstrator. Second time, anyone for or against this petition, please step up to the microphone as a remonstrator. Third and final time, please step up to the microphone if you're a remonstrator. At this time, seeing no comments, public hearing closed.
Thank you very much.
Madam Chairman, I'll make a motion, to
Well,
approve.
I don't think we heard from Steve
Oh.
yet.
I don't
Steve,
have
the
any
engineer?
comment. This is just a subdivision. Marge, I don't have any comment at this time.
You don't have any say-so here? No.
We're just subdividing.
Okay.
I don't have any say-so anywhere.
You have. Well, I'm trying to give you a little boost.
Come on,
there,
you're like
Steve.
E.F. Hutton around
You're
here.
our,
Easy
you're
now.
our speaking engineer, you know?
I
so
don't
you
have
to
any,
Always say a few words.
I don't, well, I did.
It sounds good.
No report. How about that?
Okay, no report. Okay, motion on the floor by Mr. Pettit, I believe.
Yes,
Ed, what was your motion?
to, to go home.
Okay, there's a
To
motion.
approve P9, PS2-0622, Madam Chairman.
Thank you. Could I have a second?
I ain't responding.
Second.
Second by Mr. Brian Daring, first by Sean Pettit for P9PS20622. All in favor?
Oh, roll call.
Oh, roll call vote too. Oh, I keep
Mr.
forgetting
Rich?
about that roll call.
Yes.
Mr. Holtz?
Yes.
Mr. Pettit?
Yes.
Although I am in favor, I must abstain on this one.
You have to abstain?
Yeah, actually just became a Hilton employee recently.
Oh, that's right.
What happened here?
Mr. Deering? Yes. And Madam President?
Yes.
You have 5 yeses, 1 abstention.
Okay, did you say you were a Hilton employee or what?
Yeah.
Security? Okay, oh, that's all right.
Hush, hush.
Hush, hush.
It's secret.
We have the FBI here, okay. All right, the motion has been approved for P9PS2-0622 with, I believe, 5 approvals
And one abstention.
and 1 abstention.
Welcome to Maryville.
Welcome, all in favor?
Well,
Motion
no,
approved.
welcome is new.
Hilton to go.
Well, I'm,
True hotel.
Do we still need
Well-
to come back next month?
Yes.
If
for
you want to,
final,
you can.
You have to apply. for
You gotta-
You have to come see our smiling faces again.
Yeah, and I'm sure this is going to be a beautiful hotel with all the floors. How many floors? Four?
Yeah, 4 floors. Yep.
Four floors. From what we talked about in the workshop, sounds very interesting, and I'm sure it'll be good for Maryville. Thank
More
you
money
for
in the
attending.
TIF district, Margie.
Pardon?
More money in the TIF district.
That's right, more money in the TIF district. Sean is so correct. Okay, we welcome you.
All right, thank you.
You are quite welcome. Is there any other business, board members? Hearing none, could
We're
I,
adjourned.
do we have a motion to adjourn by Brian, second? Second by Sean. Thank you all for attending.
Hold on, we gotta,
Aye.
What?
who's in favor of adjournment?
Oh, okay.
Aye.
Aye.
It's
Aye,
unanimous.
aye, aye.
We go.